Law of attraction: when should I give up trying to manifest something? If I said it once, I have said it 1,000 times. Learning about the law of attraction can be a blessing and a curse simultaneously. I am writing this post in response to a question someone recently asked me. It is the former because applying this teaching in your life can change every nook and cranny of your experience for the better. Becoming more conscious of our energy and directing it in a way that serves us better can never be a bad thing. It is the latter because once we learn about such a teaching, it is so easy to totally overthink how to go about manifesting something, become overly focused on what we want in a not-so-great way, get all freaked out about our negativity, and obsess over whether we are doing it right. As a law of attraction enthusiast, as well as a blogger and coach whose focus is on this topic, I know all too well the frustration that many of us conscious creators face. My blog is lousy with comments of people lamenting the absence of the things they have been trying to manifest. Many a client has been in the same boat. I too have personally experienced it countless times. In many cases, enthusiasm for the process wanes after a while. The prospects of getting what we want seem to get dimmer and dimmer as time goes on. We are so sick of trying. We are so sick of trying to be positive. We are doing all the work and nothing is happening. What the fuck, man? If you are asking yourself this question, here are a few of my thoughts. You don't use the law of attraction. It is all too common for people to see the law of attraction as some sort of tool you can use to improve your life. And in many cases, it becomes synonymous with things like affirmations, vision boards, and other tools that can be helpful in shifting our energy and focus. But it isn't a tool. It isn't something that works or doesn't work. You can't do it right or wrong. Yes, there is some work that needs to be done in terms of shifting our energy. That is where the aforementioned tools come in, as they are a means of helping us do this. There can be great power in ritual and consciously cultivating specific feelings and energies on a regular basis. And if you have been reading my blog or listening to my podcasts, you know I have said this a lot before. These tools are a means to an end in that they help you cultivate a different energy, which is the true determinant of what shows up in your life. I repeat stuff a lot because it takes time for these truths to really sink in, not because I can't think of anything new to say. Okay, maybe that's sometimes why I do it, winky face. No, seriously, it's because our conditioning runs deep and this new way of being won't just happen overnight. We are so oriented towards action, and we have been operating from a paradigm that states if we do enough, something will eventually happen. But it doesn't work like that with creating from a space of energy. Again, now that we are working consciously with our energy, we will be doing some things to shift the beliefs and whatnot, but it is so important you remember any action you are taking, including the utilization of any tools you use to help you shift your energy, is not the true point of creation. Our mind doesn't get being, it only gets doing, and it spurs us into all sorts of actions that just stand in the way, that aren't the best actions to be taking, at least in the moment we are taking them. Whatever is necessary for a manifestation to show up will be included in the package. When we really think about how this whole law of attraction thing works on the core level, we really can't understand it, can we? What is causing those amazing coincidences? What is bringing you together with that person who gives you exactly what you need when you need it? How do things seem to swoop in just in the nick of time? What is making something show up at the absolutely perfect time for you, and had it come in at any other point, things would not have turned out so well, or you may not have even wanted this great thing? We really can answer those questions, at least to the level of explanation our mind would like. But when we apply the teachings, these things just happen. It is kind of like if you turn the key in your ignition, your car will start, or if you flip on the switch, the room will be flooded with light. You may not know the exact intricacies taking place that bring that end result, but in taking that action, that is the result you will get. This inability of us to understand how this awesomeness works, and making peace with that, is a key component of manifesting with greater ease. It is what makes it easier to build trust and get out of our own way. How it will happen, I can't explain in deep detail, but whatever you need for your manifestations to come to fruition will be part of the package. And just a quick reminder here, that no matter what you are looking to feel a certain way. So our constant pleadings to the universe about these specific things or worrying we will somehow get what we want in some watered-down version or in some way we wouldn't like is not necessary. Let's take money for example, because we have a really hard time letting that in. Not because money is inherently harder to attract, but because we have so much baggage around it. Developing an energy of feeling like we don't need it can be quite the challenge. Remember that giving up that desperate needing does not mean kissing that manifestation goodbye. So, if you are trying to attract more money because you need to catch up on bills, there is a pretty good chance actual money will be part of the manifestation that will bring you what you are really after, which is feeling more at peace and secure. Because money is obviously the easiest, most direct way to get your bills taken care of. If you want a relationship because you want to share your life with someone, a romantic relationship is the most intertwined relationship we have. So, there is a good chance you will end up with a boyfriend or girlfriend, not someone who is perfect for you in every way but only likes you as a friend, and you have to end up settling for that. I know it is hard for us to understand. Even the most advanced among us grapple with this idea at times, that we don't need to send the reminders, we don't need to try and manifest anything specific, that we want to exert our control in a more effective way, which is not through trying to dictate exactly what shows up, but through our energy, which will then get mirrored back to us in all sorts of great ways. If you're feeling like giving up, it's time to check in with yourself. I know we want certain things and it's frustrating when we don't have them. Our mind will get attached to specifics. It will convince you certain things are absolutely necessary for your happiness or are the exact thing you want or need at this moment in time. That may be a battle we'll always be fighting to some degree, as there will be a part of our mind that will always be operating from that limited perspective and lack of understanding about who we really are, what we really want and all that jazz. So, don't beat yourself up too much about not being able to 100% detach from specific manifestations, and just enter a state of trust and surrender 24/7. Now that we have established it is our energy that creates and not all the work we may be doing to shift our energy or bring about our specific manifestations, the fact we may be feeling exasperated by this whole process and feeling like we want to give up is a pretty good indicator we really aren't operating from a very manifesting friendly space. It is time for a bit of self-review, and when I say this, again, I'm not talking about beating yourself up for not being a good little manifester, but honestly assessing how you have really been feeling and what has comprised all this trying of which you are speaking. We feel like giving up when we have been pushing really hard, and pushing really hard is not indicative of alignment. It is indicative of control and trying to force results through a specific channel. We feel like giving up when we excitedly look forward to our manifestation and experience a swell of disappointment each time things don't turn out like we thought they might. No matter how genuinely you might have been vibing higher, that reaction shows you very clearly you did have some strong expectations. That reaction might also indicate your general distrust in the process, or that you maybe don't have as much power as you thought. So it is important to consider what is causing this disappointment. We feel like giving up when our desire to manifest the things we want is primarily coming from a space of not liking our life how it is now, and viewing these manifestations as the key to solving the problems we face or making the feelings we don't like go away. It is really hard not to get attached to certain things happening for us when we view them in this light. Yes, this sense of contrast is helpful in determining what we would prefer to receive into our reality instead, but always operating from a space of resisting what is sets us up for a whole lot of suffering and slow movement on the manifesting front. We feel like giving up when we are diligently using all our tools to no avail. Our mind sees us making all this effort and expects some sort of result in return. But remember what I said earlier about the doing not being the linchpin in the creation process. But there is a good chance the use of all these tools hasn't made any real dent in how you have been feeling overall, which is what determines what shows up. being honest with how we feel and the energy that is predominant in certain areas of our life is so crucial to this process, and I don't know that we really understand that. Given the misconceptions about the law of attraction, you must be happy all the time, just focusing enough on what you want will ensure it comes, blah, 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 and the value and role of our emotions play. If you feel like giving up, it's probably time to give up. When I say this, I don't mean giving up on the idea you can actually have something better in life. I mean give up on all this trying you have been doing because clearly it hasn't been working out too well for you. This isn't supposed to be some painful, hard process. This way of operating is meant to help us break away from all the struggle, hard work and suffering that we have been taught is necessary to get ahead and is what makes us more deserving of the good stuff. When you understand it's not the affirmations, the visualizing or the vision boards that create, nor our insistence or pleading certain things show up for us, nor our wanting, letting go of trying to make something manifest for you as the best way to bring it about. Or to bring about something else even better, something that is probably a more accurate representation of what you truly want. Remember, our mind isn't the best at determining this. In many cases, it does a pretty crappy job if we're being honest. Our role in the deliberate creation process is much less involved than we think. No, the law of attraction isn't magic where we just get to decide we want certain things and voila, they just show up, exactly as we have decided they must. There is some effort involved in the energy department since we have stuff we have to acknowledge and work on. But, as far as the action part of the equation goes, it takes on a very different role than in the traditional paradigm. You can do tools from sun up to sundown and it won't matter a lick if how you predominantly feel isn't budging very much. You can take all sorts of actions, but if they are coming from a space of trying to make something happen, it's going to be a very slow-going process. When you are feeling like this, the best thing you can do is step away from all the personal development work unless doing it truly makes you feel better. Because remember, all that is just a means to an end, and if it isn't achieving the end of changing how you feel, it's just a waste of time. You're better off doing anything else, and I mean anything, if it provides any degree of feeling better. The best thing you can do is take a break from the variety of actions and regroup. In this space of pulling back and giving up the struggle, that is when you can really start aligning. That is when you will get more clarity on what you really want. That is when you will figure out the more effective actions. In this space of pulling back and not pushing against what is so much by trying so hard to create something different, your energy and focus changes, and when that changes, your point of attraction must change with it, has no choice. So, if you are feeling really frustrated with your blogging, take 2 weeks off. If you are sick of the blind dates and the online dating scene, pull back. If the strategies you have been using to build your business don't seem to be bearing fruit, stop doing them. Giving up has a very different connotation in this way of thinking, and the willingness to do so can be a game changer.